Hello everybody and welcome to Let the Dice Decide number 5, where I'm gonna throw the dice. First the ones for the brand of the stamp or die cut, then pattern, background, topic of the card, if it's interactive or different project, and then interactive mechanisms. And I do that to help me decide what I want to do. First, I'm going to throw my brands. I have Gerda Steiner, Impronte d'autore, Art Impressions, and Create a Smile. This is a German brand. This is an Italian brand. And Gerda Steiner, funny enough, I think it's American. But Gerda Steiner is a German name. And Art Impressions also from America. Then I do this. So we have either Create a Smile or Art Impressions. I say this one is blue. It's green. It's going to be Art Impressions. Okay. Then we have the background is Embossing. That's with the powder and the heating tool. Then we have the topic of the card. It's a birthday. And now let's see if it's going to be, it's a 1-layer card. A 1-layer card. Well, I think I'm going to be a bit more generous with that, but certainly nothing pop-up and stuffs, but one flat layer I cannot do, but just as flat as possible. So those are the things. I know it's not that bright because I need to pay attention because of the light. They will get lighter at some point, my videos, but it's just not the time now. So this is the stamp set I chose. This is from Art Impressions with the frogs. And then I have the embossed background, so I would like to use stencils. I have this very cool frog print stencil. And also have those little clouds. I think they're cute too. And then the sentiment, which will be birthdays themed. So I have this Juhu. And Du hast Geburtstag. It's your birthday in die cut. So this I'm gonna stamp and somehow, and then die cut that. And I have already cut out, also I have stamped all my images and colored them and cut them out. And this one, because I would have to, if I want to make this 1 millimeter border, I would have to cut with an X-Acto knife in between here and everywhere. So I decided I'd just make a bigger outline, and then I don't have to cut out all the middle parts and stuff. Okay, here it should get sharper. Or it's my eyes, they're not as good anymore. So this is the big frog image. And I have all the others too. I have this one lying on its thing. This one. Jumpy one. The one in the flower I get twice. And this one. And I think this is very birthday-y, but I also like this one. This would work with a yoo-hoo. This is a very happy stamp in my opinion. But it could also be this one and the yoo-hoo on top and Du hast Geburtstag underneath. Something like that. This has a shadow layer. Yeah, this is as far as I am. That's a few days later. Okay. So I think it would all fit nicely on this paper. The way I said it before. This a bit to the left. And this here and the other one. Ah, no, not like this. A bit like that. But it fits like this. Okay. And now I wanted to have a little fun with embossing powders. So those are my embossing powders. I have all of these and those and some refills. Here are the ones I use a lot. Black and white and clear gloss and stuff. Also I found here I have mixed clear gloss and light blue to make water or something. Then I saw I had mixed blue and glitter at some point. And here is some greens, dark and light green mixed. So I want to use those blue ones for the background, just the whole panel. Now, I don't know what they are, because important to know with embossing powders is there's opaque ones and transparent ones. And with my very first card, I had a blue background, blue background.
That's his blue blazer black.
And I used this yellow for something on it, and it didn't show. And that's how I learned that transparent doesn't work on a color. So you need to do that either on a white stamp, also white embossed sentiment, and then that on top, or on a light cardstock color. And the other ones, the opaque ones, they go on anything. So that's why white is so cool. Because even though it's white, it's opaque, and you can use it on especially on a dark background, it shows up very, very well, very white. Also, there's glow in the darks, and they also need a light background, so they can charge better. I find them a bit tricky, but glow in the dark, always cool. So now I don't know what ones those are. If I mixed opaque. They're both opaque. Okay, that's fine. So I want to have that in the background. And then I would like to have my paw prints, my footprints. I forgot my other light now. Sorry. Well, I haven't got that down. Either with a green, but I only have this metallic mixed green, because the dark green I would have is transparent, so that wouldn't work so well. So either I take this green or this very light yellow green, light green, which smells toxic, so crazy toxic, or I take black, because black would work too. Yeah, I have a refill for that. But I'm gonna start with the background, and I'm gonna mix those two on it, because I thought I would want to water this one down with transparent. So with a clear gloss, you can make it lighter and more watery. But I want to keep it as is. But in the end, I want to put them both on, and then I will have them on my paper and put them in an empty jar. I have a few new empty jars, so I can mix my own colors. And that can catch what's left of this one. So I think I'm not using a brush for that. So I took a brush for the stencil later on, and I will wash it off after I'm done, because it's sticky ink. But I think I'm just gonna swipe this whole ink pad over my, or tap it over my background panel, and then I should hopefully cover it all, or not. I think it's the quickest way. It doesn't stamp entirely. Okay, it's gonna be fun to hold it, to blow dry it. Okay, now I transfer it on my paper. Voila, and I'm just gonna pour a little bit of this. And then I pour a little bit of the other blue thing with the glitter. And some more of this. And this. Maybe even mix it a bit. Okay, no idea. Cute. And then I just gonna spread it. And maybe it turns out fine. So, okay. I think I have it all covered now. I can't hold it really. I'm gonna put it back on here and see what happens. Ta-da! And now I have this mixed and I put it in my new jar. Now my whole background is a bit sticky because embossing powder gets it also a bit sticky. So I will have to use my powder tool. Then I use my stencil and my brush. And I am going for, I think I'm doing the dark green paw prints, footprints. Because it's very likely that it sticks to other areas, and black I wouldn't like on other areas, but green is fine. So let's do that. I don't know if that really works. Huge. Now this. Add some tape on the back. And now I use my brush. I hope I don't push it under the stencil. It's also hard to see what I've done already and what not. So I think I got them all. Take it off, close this up, side off. Take out those. Oh, I can see them a bit. I don't know if you see that. Sometimes you can see them in the reflection, but it has sticky on it. Let's see. And put it on. There's a little green all over, but also the paw prints hold. What are they called? And every time you go over it, the other embossing powder also melts again. So when you have a sentiment and you blow it right over and over again, at some point it kind of goes into the paper. So it's fine at the beginning to do it a bit more, so it really is smooth and nicely melted. But at some point it's too much. But I want to have the sentiment on here too, unless I cut it out of maybe green paper. Ooh! I have an order that will come at some point. There's gonna be a lily pad on it. But maybe I make my own or something. But it's kind of cool. Trick number 77 for glitter and embossing powder. Okay, so I thought I could stamp this one on green and then cut out with an outline somehow. But I'm losing more and more of my background, so I'm gonna try to emboss the third time over this now with black and sticky ink, and I'm using my tiny Missy for the first time. Okay, so it goes in here. That goes there. Huge. And now I really need to pay attention. Now when you have black embossing powder and it's sticky on other parts, then you have black powder on there too, and that melts. So we don't want that. So I need to really put some thing on here. I only want it to stick to the sentiment stamp twice. Okay. Also, another way to prevent it going over the whole paper is to tip it out then there and not over the rest of the panel. So what do I have on here? Cute. So aim for the sentiment, which is over here. Oh, that, oh, wow. Lovely. Okay. So now if I do it too much, it also mixes with the other embossing powders. But that looks nice. Cool. Cute. And then I do love this green. This is emerald green I have. Smaragd. And I am not doing the shadow layer because I want to see my background. And yeah, well, I don't like those though. It's fine. I'm gonna cut it out in green, I think twice, and make a black shadow layer. So I cut it out 3 times and adhere it together and put it underneath. And then I'm nearly done. Okay, I've changed my mind. I didn't like this. So I'm gonna do this. And I have little spinners from Simon Says Stamp. I've never used it, but then I can put it on there and then it can turn around. This is a yoo-hoo! Jumping, relaxing, just kind of like this. I also have this one, so maybe that one too. Just a froggy card. And this, I don't know, it would take too much from the background. It is not as bright as I would wish it to be. I would like the frog prints to be very, very, very light green. I didn't do that and I'm not going to do it again, but it's kind of okay. So, but to use all my things, I can put this one on the inside of the card and this one on the envelope. And then I've used them all. Because I just stamped them all and colored them all because I didn't know what I want to use. Okay, one more step before I take a break. Because I've never worked with those spinners. They're tiny. Simon Says Stamp has them and they were out of stock and then they had them again, so I got 7 packs of 5. They are tiny, so here it is. It has a longer part, circle, and a smaller one. I don't know what makes more sense, but I think I stick it on the bigger part, I stick that on the card base and the other one on the frog. And the thing is, it's metal, so I think I'm trying micro glue dots and see if that works. Let's just have it like there. Okay, so because glue wouldn't hold, would it? I'm putting it on a micro glue dot, maybe on 2 micro glue dots, and then I put it on my card. Now it already spins, crazy. And then I put more. You see nothing, huh? It's so tiny. So I will put more on here. Okay, I think it got it. Yeah. And now I just stick this on here, and now it can turn around. But it would be nice if it were. I'm doing that again. I have it on here. I want to have it that it stays upright when it's normal. Okay. And I would just pay attention to have it glued on further up. How's it sitting down there? Maybe then one sees that one can spin it around. I don't know if I like it upside down. Can't I? Let's try it. Oh, now I took the whole thing off. And then maybe have it here in the head. There. Okay, now it's kind of right side up when it's... But now it doesn't spin it. Now it doesn't spin so well anymore. If it's flat, it just spins. If the card's flat. Okay. Cool, huh? So here I have my scene laid out how I want it. And now I adhere first the mushroom, just a bit, because I want to have it all on 3D foam. But I want to have this as a whole thing. And then I also put on the tulip, I think that is. Also, I can wiggle it around a bit with a liquid glue to have it in the right angle. Yeah. Then I turn the whole thing around and add a ton of 3D foam dots, foam squares. I do use my pincers for that, my tweezers. And then I did take off the backings off camera. That always takes ages and they stick everywhere. And when I still had cats, I was always worried that they eat those things, and sometimes they were sticking somewhere, like where they sit and stuff. Yeah, and then I put it on my card. One chance only, because I didn't put on any liquid glue. Could have gone a bit more to the right, but it's fine. And that's still twirling around. It's cool. And now I'm making my card base. I always make that. I make it always myself, but I don't always make it at the end of a session. But it's very good when you've done that. So I just took half of my paper and made a pencil mark to cut off the rest, which will go in my scraps, either to make another card out of it or to die cut something. And then I use liquid glue to just glue it on. I do love liquid glue, and I use a lot of it, and this stuff is so expensive. I pay, I think, $40 for a big bottle. And then I fill it in this small one, and depends on how much I use it, but it disappears quickly. And then I also make the envelope. So I don't know, you need to tell me once I should stop showing you the envelopes. It's always the same thing. So first I take a little bit, then I take the whole card. Then I need to check if my envelope would fold over entirely. There's an overlap. And I also have a bit spatzig, a bit left over, so I can make a nice edge there, nice end trim or something. Then I try to take the same amount of centimeters left and right. That's why I had to shift it a bit to the right. And then I need to cut some stuffs out and glue it together, and I will add some music now. Look at it with the background. Can even go like that when you just do that, and when you set it up and stand it somewhere, he would settle on being like this. So, and now I thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.